Right, sir. Thank you so much for being on the Jantak show again. Before we start, we want to acknowledge something. In 2021, we reached out to more than 2 lakh people, and this absolutely could not have been possible without you. You have been our mentor. You have made sure that we are on the right track, and of course, you have connected us to a lot of people. So we just wanted to thank you on the record. So thank you so much for that.
My pleasure, my pleasure. First of all, let me thank you that you've called me on this show again. And regarding where you are showing your gratitude, let me tell you that when both of you came to me, I found you to be genuine people. I found you to be hardworking. I found that you wanted to work and contribute, and thus, I wanted to help you in whichever capacity I could. So it's not that you came and I just decided that I need to help you, but because I saw potential in you, and that's why I think I try to back you wherever I could.
So it has been very helpful for us, and I believe, when you said you found us genuine, so thank you so much for that as well. So it's very, it's very just ensures that we put all our efforts, we go all in the show. So thank you so much for that. And so now coming to the hottest topic of the market, your latest book. Tell us a bit about it. Why the name Opium, Toffee, and what's the book about?
So the book is already on pre-order on Amazon. It's titled The Opium Toffee, rather The Opium Toffee.
Yeah.
And it's a book which is set in the 1980s of Punjab.
Okay.
My previous book, Maharaja and Denims, is also juxtaposed between Maharaja Ranjit Singh's era and, the whole of Punjab's story as such. I think it's just this passion, and I've grown up in that time when times were turbulent, and so I think maybe it's something that I have to get it out of my system. And writing is a way for me to go through that process. Maybe this is the last book on the Punjab series, as I call it, and I will do something else. But whenever I start writing, I think I will do something different. I end up writing something which is, pertaining to Punjab. So it's a love story. It's a beautiful love story where a boy and a girl crush on each other, but the girl's father is so entrenched in patriarchy that he doesn't like it. But instead of confronting the boy, he starts giving him a toffee, which is laced with opium.
Oh.
And then the whole story goes bizarre. And imagine a young boy in 88, 89, in 85, when he goes through this experience, there are so many other external factors which you can fall prey to. Because there was terrorism at its peak, there were law and order issues. So then the whole story kind of, takes a different route. And the girl incidentally becomes this very, very hot supermodel. And she's like the Punjabi supermodel, but takes India, by surprise, and with her beauty and what I say is a kick-ass attitude.
This is very interesting because a lot of times when to deviate our focus from the main core problems, we have been given easy credit is a tool that the government uses when they want to divert us from the core issues. And I think how the dad had given an opium toffee to deviate him from the main issue at hand, that is about getting married to the girl. So do you think it's also the representation of what's going on in India right now?
Well, I cannot comment on the political circumstances. I'm at a place where it would be unfair for me to make a comment on a public forum for now. But coming back to the specific part of the book, so he just doesn't want that relationship to end. There is a larger conspiracy, because he just wants, it's something like ਯੂ نو ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਪੰਜਾਬ 'ਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਸ਼ਰੀਕੇ ਨੂੰ ਖਤਮ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਨਸ਼ੇ ਤੇ ਲਾ ਦਿਓ ਸੋ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਸ਼ਰਾਬ ਤੇ ਲਾ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਕੋਈ ਫੀਮ ਤੇ ਲਾ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਸੋ ਦੀ ਹੋਲ ਕਰੀਅਰ ਦ ਲਾਈਫ ਇਜ਼ ਡਿਸਟਰੋਇਡ ਸੋ ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਲਾਰਜਰ ਕਨਸਪੀਰੇਸੀ ਟੂ ਇਟ ਸੋ ਇਟਸ ਨਾਟ ਓਨਲੀ ਅ ਮੈਟਰ ਆਫ ਯੂ نو that momentary deviation that ਕਿ ਮੇਰੀ ਕੁੜੀ ਨੂੰ ਨਾ ਮਿਲੇ that's not the only part.
So, because you have been writing about Punjab for such a long time, it shows how deeply connected you are with the roots, and just wanted to appreciate that. So, thank you so much.
Thank you. That. I mean, Punjab is like, मेरे खून च वसदा है, and I don't think so कि मैं किते होर रह सकदा या जा सकदा. बड़ी लाइफ अपॉर्चुनिटीज आई हैं कि इत्थे चल जाओ उत्थे चल जाओ, बट I think ਇੱਥੇ ਦੀ ਹਵਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਦੇ ਲੋਕ and obviously ਇੱਕ ਜਿਹੜੇ once you are living in any area ਉਹਦੀ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮਸ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਔਰ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਹਰ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਭੱਜ ਤਾਂ ਸਕਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ ਇੱਥੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਹੈ ਮੈਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਚਲ ਜਾ ਫਿਰ ਉੱਥੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਹੈ ਫਿਰ ਮੈਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਚਲ ਜਾ ਕਿਆ ਟਪੂਸੀਆਂ ਥੋੜਾ ਮਾਰਦੇ ਰਹਿਣਾ you have to be rooted ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਟਪੂਸੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਾਰਨੀ that is what rooted is ਜਿਹੜਾ ਟਪੂਸੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਹੈ ਉਹਦੀ ਕੀ ਰੂਟ ਹੈ so that's what my belief is.
So what's the best part of writing a book? Is it the process of writing or is it the fame that you get after launching the book?
Let me tell you, author na fame li nahi edna likhda.
Okay.
Fame is incidental. Mil jaye te bahut vadiya na mile ਜਦੋਂ ਕਿਤਾਬ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ you want it ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਬਾਕੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲੇ but when you are writing the book it is the beautiful process. That process ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੇਰਾ process ਹੈ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਤਿਆਰ ਹੋ ਕੇ 9:30 ਵਜੇ ਹੁਣ ਤਾਂ I'm on an official assignment so my routine has changed but when I wrote Captain Amrinder's biography or before this when I was writing Opium Toffee that beautiful routine ਕਿ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ 9:30 ਵਜੇ ਤਿਆਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਹੈ ਆਪਣਾ ਲੈਪਟਾਪ ਪੈਕ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ nearest coffee shop luckily I'm privileged barista ਬੰਦ ਕਰਤਾ ਕਿਰਾਇਆ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ so coffee shop ਜਾਣਾ ਹੈ and write, think, delete, sleep, mull over it, सारा दिन किताब ही सोची जानी है, जितना करना है, discuss किताब करना है. I think the process is beautiful. ਹੁਣ मैं राती लिखता सी या lockdown च लिखिया. I completed this book मैं पहले 2017 to 2018 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਿਖੀ. ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਫਿਰ lockdown ਵਿੱਚ I completed it. Okay. And then I sent it to the publisher. But the process, it's beautiful. ਮੈਂ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਜਾਣਾ ਮੈਂ ਬੰਬੇ ਹੋਟਲ ਕਰ ਲੈਣਾ ਬੁੱਕ 3-4 ਦਿਨ ਉੱਥੇ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਓਸ਼ਨ ਵਿਊ ਤੇ ਐਂਡ ਆਈ ਜਸਟ ਰਾਈਟ ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ ਦੈਨ ਯੂ ਈਟ ਸਲੀਪ ਡਰਿੰਕ ਐਵਰੀਥਿੰਗ ਇਟਸ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਅ ਬੁੱਕ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬ੍ਰੇਕਫਾਸਟ ਖਾਇਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਖਾਧਾ ਨਹਾਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਨਹਾਤੇ ਪਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉੱਠ ਕੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਲੈਪਟਾਪ ਤੇ ਲਿਖੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹੋ that's the way I write a book and I think ਮੇਰੇ ਲਈ ਕਿਤਾਬ ਲਿਖਣ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਸੈਸ ਬੜਾ ਇੰਟਰਸਟਿੰਗ ਹੈ
that's beautiful. Sir, recently ਇੱਕ sustainability forum ਤੇ एक डिस्कशन चल रही थी कि ई बुक वर्सेस फिजिकल बुक्स एंड एक पॉइंट ये सी कि फिजिकल बुक्स का जो कार्बन फुटप्रिंट है या एनवायरमेंटल इम्पैक्ट है इट्स वेरी ह्यूज राइट एंड यू डिड समथिंग टू रिवर्स द एनवायरमेंटल इम्पैक्ट दैट योर बुक्स आर गोना हैव so I would love if you can talk about that, tell the idea behind it so that it can also inspire all the young authors and or people who are already publishing books.
See, Manik, your question is in two parts. एक था e-books over
the physical book.
The physical book. देखो दुनिया ਵਿੱਚ कोई चीज़ नहीं रुकेगी जो commerce नहीं रुकेगी.
Of course.
Right? People will not. So ਸਾਨੂੰ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ model ਲੱਭਣਾ ਪਏਗਾ कि how this model can become a sustainable model. Right? Now publishers make money out of physical books rather than e-books. Also, readers are used to reading physical books and I think e-book largely is a convenience, is not a replacement. Okay. ਤੁਸੀਂ travel ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ 40 ਕਿਤਾਬਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਜੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਚ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਨਾ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਹੁਣ ਤਾਂ ਵੈਸੇ ਹੀ ਉਹ weight ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਜੁੱਤੇ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੋ ਆਉਂਦੇ so it's convenience but then in the publishing industry I think we have to give a thought ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ process ਨੂੰ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ mitigate ਕਰਨਾ we planted 1500 trees right मैं actually किसी दोस्त को बैठा and the discussion came much later book publish होने चले गई सी नहीं था पहले I would have discussed it with a publisher कि recyclable paper use करिए, ink organic use करिए. Some publishers are using recyclable paper, I'm told. So ਉਹਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ carbon footprint ਇਸ ਕਿਤਾਬ ਦੀ ਇੰਨੀ ਹੈ.
Okay.
I said how? He says ਤੁਸੀਂ travel ਕਿੰਨਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿਤਾਬ ਲਿਖਣ ਲਈ? ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਲੰਡਨ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ to sit. He says imagine you flew, that's the carbon footprint. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਕੈਫੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹੋ ਜੇ ਪੈਦਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਏ ਗੱਡੀ 'ਚ ਗਏ ਉਹਦਾ ਤੇਲ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ, ਲੈਪਟਾਪ ਔਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਉਹਦਾ ਤੇਲ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ, ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਪੇਪਰ ਯੂਜ਼ ਹੋਣਾ ਪਬਲਿਸ਼ਿੰਗ ਲਈ, ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਗੱਡੀਆਂ ਮੂਵ ਹੋਣੀਆਂ ਟੂ ਟਰਾਂਸਪੋਰਟ ਯੋਰ ਬੁੱਕ. So there is so much happening just for one book. So we realized कि या carbon credits खरीदिए, but I spoke to the forest department and they were very very happy and excited कि this is a new initiative and they said we'll plant 1500 trees of the native varieties and ਅਸੀਂ 1500 ਦਰਖਤ ਲਾਏ to offset the carbon footprint that my book, the Opium Toffee, might have brought or will bring during the process of promotion and all. And I think the publishing industry and writers should start thinking on these lines. Writers can buy carbon credits or, हर birthday ते अपना 10 दरखत ला जान, 1500 इकट्ठे नहीं लग सकते, हर birthday ते 10 ला दें, 20 ला दें, कुछ ना कुछ ऐसा ना process we should start.
So the fact that you had been thinking about it, the fact that there was a person who knew कि ऐसा कितना carbon footprint होएगा, like it gives me trust in कि we are heading towards a better tomorrow, right? Because again वही जेडे publishers publish कर रहे हैं, they are using sustainable ink, they are using the recyclable paper. I think that's very commendable.
I think it should be encouraged and this narrative should be brought in the publishing and the writing industry of the world. Why India? ये तो हो नहीं सकता, ये भी नहीं हो सकता कि मैं अपना footprint चढ़ता ते 1500 दरख्त ला ला. That's not the solution. Is how to reduce it, and if it is happening, how to offset it. I think these are the processes involved in it. So trust, Ajeta, I wouldn't say. I think holi we have to build this narrative, and Sadi Kusharpur Lit Society hai, we try to bring in new narratives in. Asi literature festival वगैरह करने बंद करते हैं.
Wow.
It's waste of money. So we think we should bring in new narratives. Asi mobile library शुरू करती है, which is like knowledge लोगों को लेके जानी, उनको expand करांगे. Then we will try to bring the environmental issues, vis-a-vis printing and publishing, and how authors and publishers can help, reduce the carbon footprint. So we try to bring in these narratives.
Absolutely, sir. I think अगर community एक गल्ला कर रही है, so awareness ही create हो रही है, at least that's also very huge.
Absolutely, and if you're in a position to create some awareness, you should.
And the mobile library, I've told this to a lot of people, and I've also told them कि I'm very excited कि यार ये चंडीगढ़ कਦੋਂ आएगी या पंजाब, because I remember once we spoke about it and you said how are you going to expand this. So I think it's a great initiative.
Well, if people are listening, we need philanthropy for it.
Yeah.
People need to contribute for it, and I think we'll grow. We have a formula in place. So the idea behind the mobile library is it's not only कि तुसी किताबां लेके जानी है, तुसी knowledge लेके जा रहे हो, एक city का character build करना है, लोग बच्चे grow करते हैं, देखते हैं कि library है, किताब है. पंजाब से केड़ा बच्चा grow कर रहे आले दुआले किताबां ने देखनी. So it's the intangibles वो बहुत ने. It's not only कि एक library खड़ी है. It's a culture, and that is I think the idea and the motive of any think tank or a thinker or society, who wants to contribute.
I think sir, a community like culture because I remember, so I'm still working on a project called Pink Toilets. So Delhi na 10 toilets are for women and children. 10 toilets the under books rakhe hain, like we have built a sort of like 200 books in 10 toilets. So and then now we have created reading clubs. The आस-पास the community the बच्चे आंदे हैं. We have a volunteer जो उन्हां नू storytelling करदे हैं, and they are free to issue any book and take back home. So I think जो community build हुंदी है through, I think books are a great tool to build better people, to build a good community. And
yes, so ਜਿਹੜੇ tools available है तुसी देखो ना केड़े tools available है. कि आ ਸਕੂਲ ਹੈ ਇੱਕ ਆਰਟ ਹੈ ਇੱਕ ਆ ਹੈ ਸੋ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਟੂਲਸ ਅਵੇਲੇਬਲ ਨੇ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸੋਸਾਇਟੀ ਇੱਕ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟਿਵ ਪਾਸੇ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਸੋ ਬੁੱਕਸ ਲਾਰਜਲੀ ਆਰ ਦੀ ਨੰਬਰ 1 ਸੋ ਆਊਟ ਆਫ ਦੀ ਅਵੇਲੇਬਲ ਟੂਲਸ ਜਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਚੀਜ਼ ਸੁਜੈਸਟ ਕਰੋ ਬਟ ਬੁੱਕਸ ਲਾਰਜਲੀ ਆਰ the number one tool to bring in knowledge and open up the minds and also when your mind is open to see state contribute ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ you know you vote differently ਤੁਸੀਂ business ਚ contribute ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ideas ਆਉਂਦੇ ਹੈ ਤੁਸੀਂ international citizen ਬਣਦੇ ਹੋ so many other things.
This is exactly what we envision doing through this show ki so ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ start ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ we figured out ki what kind of conversations the youth of Punjab is having. And they were definitely not having the right kind of conversations. So we thought, okay, why not have these types of conversations?
The youth of Punjab, ठीक conversation करते हैं. उन्होंने नु चीज़ चाहिए conversation ठीक करने लिए. You forget the political narrative. Political narrative तब is largely based on votes.
Yeah.
But मैं तो दसदा मैं library ਤੇ ਕਦੀ ਕਦੀ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੁਸ਼ਿਆਰਪੁਰ ਤੇ ਸਪੈਂਡ ਡੇ 2 ਘੰਟੇ ਲਾ ਦਿੰਦਾ 3 ਘੰਟੇ ਲਾ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਇੰਨੀ ਖੋ ਹੈ ਟੂ ਰੀਡ ਯੂ نو ਯੰਗਸਟਰਸ ਟੌਪ ਅੰਬੇਦਕਰ ਦੀ ਬੁੱਕ ਹੈ ਕਨਸਟੀਟਿਊਸ਼ਨ ਆਫ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਹੈ ਭਗਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਹੈ ਵਿਵੇਕਾਨੰਦ ਹੈ ਥਾਟ they want to read books of thoughts of where they learn ਅੱਛਾ ਉਹ ਅਸੀਂ ਡੋਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਲਈਆਂ ਸੋ ਡੋਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਨਾਲ it doesn't work the model ਉਹ ਜੋ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਘਰ ਮਿਲਸ ਐਂਡ ਬੂਨਸ ਪਈ ਹੈ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਘਰ ਜੈਫਰੀ ਆਰਚਰ ਪਿਆ ਹੈ ਐਂਡ ਰਾਈਟਰ ਉਹ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੇਤੀਆਂ people don't want to read that. Punjab the youth wants to read which is content which not that the other content is different but that's fiction that's you know but the core बहुत है Punjab the youth ਨੂੰ ਸਿਰਫ provision ਚਾਹੀਦਾ you need to provide for you know and resources individual ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣ ਸਕਦੇ ਇੱਕ community ਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਕਰਕੇ pool ਕਰਕੇ resources ਦੇਣੇ ਪੈਣਗੇ that's the only way.
I hope this reaches to a community, to a philanthropist, or to anyone who is listening and who can, you know, contribute together as a community. And I think it's gonna be a great initiative. And so what you said also changed my perspective. Ki the youth of Punjab is having the right kind of conversation. Unna nu bas agency chahiye hai. They need the right kind of resources to sort of grow and, you know, think freely.
Individually they think very freely, but when narratives are pushed in, then they discuss other things.
Okay.
You know, the youth is they're so bright. हर चीज़ का उन्हें पता है. They have so much of access to content. सब कुछ पता है. I will not blame the youth of Punjab. I will blame this society which is not helping them develop that initial seed, that thought. ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ. Saying कि youth of Punjab इतना है.
I think access of content ज़्यादा होने नाल भी जो right kind of content कितने ना कितने पीछे रह जाता है. What do you think about that?
Social media का content can be pushed. You can push a narrative, but किताब तो अपनी choice है. मैं थोड़े गलत इतनी I can't push a book down your throat. That's your own choice. So you have the independence to pick the narrative that you want to read.
Right.
So that's a different content. That content is you sponsor it, you boost it. So it's there's an intention behind that content.
Right. So moving on to the second part of the conversation. So we figured out that you have a very good, very nice network, and I think the young Indians can benefit a lot because especially in the post-pandemic era, the networking has sort of taken a backseat because events nahi ho rahe or people are not, you know, meeting other people socially. So sir, first thing, because the term networking thoda has a connotation ki, you know, you meet at a networking event, you exchange cards and maybe you introduce yourself. But I think it's more about it's more than that. It's, you know, building a relationship. So what's your thought?
Let me correct you. If I was only I would call these friendships. Okay. If I was only networking, you won't see what you see.
What does that mean?
It means कि जे मैं सिर्फ कार्ड या network करने लिए लोगों को मिलता, then I would have just been a product.
You scratch my back, I scratch your back.
Yeah, it's like that. But what you see is not a network. What you see is friendships.
Okay.
I think, and friendships don't develop I mean, an exchange of card can be the initial, meeting
beginning
point,
of something.
beginning of something, because you have to meet someone somewhere. But friendships take a lot. They are not only dependent on whining and dining.
Yeah.
They take character. They take trust. They take grace. You need to ignore each other's petty flaws.
Yeah.
So there's a huge so now you've asked me this question, I'm thinking about it. Otherwise I just take them that they are my friends.
It comes naturally.
Yeah, it comes naturally. And obviously in friendship there is an exchange of these values.
Yeah.
Right? I won't call it a transaction. There's an exchange of values, there's an exchange of trust, there's an exchange of grace, there's an exchange of knowing that someone can stand, there's a sense of loyalty. So all these factors.
And I think they are also shared values, like when you meet someone, maybe.
No, we can be. I mean, some of my friends, we are so opposite to each other. We hold different views. We've had heated arguments, but that's also the beauty of allowing each other to be able to express. So what you say is, I think my advice to the youngsters is कि ना काले नहीं पैना. हर बंदा utility नहीं है. ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹਰ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੂੰ utility ਨਾਲ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਚੱਲੋਗੇ, ਫਿਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ utility ਰਹੋਗੇ. ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਲੋੜ ਪਏਗੀ ਕੋਈ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਰੇਗਾ. Then you are also utility, na? Then why you should be different for the others?
Yeah.
Right? So don't react. Life ਵਿੱਚ react नहीं करना. I think that's respond करना है. So ਅਸੀਂ 20 ਸਾਲ ਦੀ ਦੋਸਤੀ ਇੱਕ WhatsApp ਤੇ ਤੋੜ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ. What is this nonsense? So these are not. I mean, ਉਹ 20 ਸਾਲ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀ ਕੁਛ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਸ ਦੋਸਤੀ 'ਚ ਪਾਇਆ ਹੋਏਗਾ. ਤੁਸੀਂ WhatsApp ਤੇ ਤੋੜ ਲਿਆ ਕਿ ਕੋਈ disagree ਕਰ ਗਿਆ ਜਾਂ you are intoxicated ਜਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ react ਕੀਤਾ. Give it time. ਸਵੇਰੇ ਮੁੜ ਕੇ life ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰੋ. Don't lose a friend ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੰਨੀ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਰੱਖੀ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ. So I think my advice is only this: कि सबर नाल चलो and be graceful in your relationships. Be graceful. Don't be petty in your relationships.
How do you handle arguments? Because
well, I argue loudly, even more loudly.
But then, what I want to know is like what goes inside you, not what comes out. But what's the thought? I personally, when I argue, I know कि जो मेरा argument है ऐसे ही रह जाना. I'm not gonna take it to I'm gonna not gonna take it tomorrow. Like वो ऐसे ही रह जाएगा. There's gonna be an exchange of thoughts, and that's about it.
See, I'll tell you, there are all kinds of so a lot of people argue on perception. So when people argue on perception, वो रुक ही नहीं सकती argument, क्योंकि perception है, किसी को fact कुछ नहीं है. So largely what I have learned in argument or discussion is that you have to kill the basis of that argument.
How?
Whatever, with facts or whatever. You can't keep arguing on your perception. You have to understand कि किस point to
where is it coming from?
Okay. So you have to kill that.
Okay.
Maybe kill is a harsh word, but you have to
unlearn. I think unlearn the
so you have to so you can't say कि तू गलत है. You can say कि मेरे हिसाब नाल I think this is the point of view. You should fact check, or you might want to reconsider what you're saying. कि आ fact है, आ गल है. But largely we are all argue on perceptions.
Yeah, of course. Fact है तो sir I think वो रहता कुछ argument बचा ही नहीं.
So largely we argue on ideas. What it should be, how it is, how history should have been, how the future should be.
What ifs and what could have been.
Yeah, but I think largely network largely works on a good etiquette, gracefulness, and good human qualities, if you would want to call it network.
So they say your network is your net worth. Do you believe that?
A friend of mine, she said that. Yes, it is.
Okay, it is.
I think so. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੋ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ 'ਚ ਖਟਿਆ ਹੈ, ਕਮਾਇਆ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈ, ਖਟਿਆ ਬੜੀ ਵੱਡੀ ਨੈਟਵਰਥ ਹੈ, you know. So I think ਮੇਰੇ ਲਈ ਉਹ ਬੜੀ ਵੱਡੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈ. You know, let me tell you, ਕਮਾਈ ਦੀ ਇੱਕ ਯੂਟਿਲਿਟੀ ਹੈ, ਉਸ ਯੂਟਿਲਿਟੀ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਐਕਸੈਸ ਹੈ. ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਘੱਟ ਹੋਵੇ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦਿੱਕਤ ਹੈ.
Okay.
Right? ਫਿਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ compromise ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ ਹਰ ਚੀਜ਼ ਤੇ. But to have a free, independent mind thinking, a certain amount of sustainability चाहिए. Right? Once you have that, फिर उस तो बाद excess है. उस तो बाद जो खटिया है, ਉਹਦੀ greed बड़ी लोगों ਨੂੰ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ. You know? ਉਹ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਖਟਿਆ ਉਹ ਘੱਟ ਹੈ.
ਇੱਕ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਸਰ ਮੇਰੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਪੈਸਾ ਥੋੜਾ ਇਰੈਲੇਵੈਂਟ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ.
ਇੱਕ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ, ਬਟ ਇੱਕ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਤੱਕ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ.
Absolutely.
Right? मैं I won't preach कि नहीं चाहिए, point तक चाहिए, but उस तो बाद then comes your passion, your human qualities. You should give time to those. Yeah.
So now coming to, so we reached out to our audience. We told them कि we are gonna have a podcast with Mr. Khushwant, and we asked them कि if you have any questions for him. So एक first question is sir about luck. Like, do you believe in luck, and do you feel lucky to be here, or do you think that these are your efforts, or is it like a mix of efforts?
ਯਾਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਬੰਦਾ ਦੱਸ ਦਿਓ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵਿਹਲਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਉਹਨੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ 'ਚ ਕੁਝ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹੋ ਲੱਕੀ. ਵਿਹਲੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਲੱਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦਾ.
I get your point.
ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਨਾ. ਮਿਹਨਤੀ ਬੰਦਾ can be unlucky but lucky also.
How?
ਨਹੀਂ, ਜੇ ਲੱਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਇਆ ਬਟ ਆਪਣਾ ਕੰਮ ਤਾਂ ਚਲਾ ਰਿਹਾ, ਬਟ ਵਿਹਲਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਦੱਸ ਦਿਓ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਲੱਕ ਆ ਗਿਆ ਹੋਵੇ. ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਨਾ. ਇਨਹੈਰੀਟੈਂਸ ਤਾਂ ਇਜ਼ ਸੈਪਰੇਟ, ਬਟ ਵੈਸੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਦਿਓ any you give me one person, name one person who's a bloody freeloader who doesn't work, does nothing, and luck has come to him or her. No, luck comes to people who work hard, who work hard means who are engaged with life. Luck comes to them. It might not come, that's separate, but it will only come to people who kind of are engaged with life. It doesn't come to a freeloader or a villa banda, as I say. So luck is also watching. I mean, luck doesn't want a bad luck. ਉਹ ਵੀ ਦੇਖਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਕਿੱਧਰ ਜਾਵਾਂ.
ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਾਊਂਗਾ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਕੰਮ ਬਣੇ.
ਹਾਂ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਕੰਮ ਬਣੇ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਚੱਕ ਸਕੇ.
Sir, एक और question थी, and I think it's a very interesting question. You have been involved into Bollywood now because your books are being into Bollywood movies. You're also somehow involved into politics, right? And these are people who drive a lot of narratives in the society. So, and I'm sure you are in touch, or you have interacted with a lot of these, people from Bollywood and people from politics. So, what are the shared characteristics that make these people who they are? Like, why do public follow them?
So first let me correct you that I am not involved in politics. I am on a post where it has nothing to do with politics. Secondly, I wrote about a political figure.
Okay.
Right? So my understanding of politics is there. Now to your question that I met so many diverse people. I think largely people who stand out again, like they have those qualities of, of standing to their word.
Okay.
They if they make a promise, they stick to it.
Yeah.
They are graceful in their approach. You are not a purza, as I say.
Like a utility. What does purza mean?
You're just not a product.
Okay.
So those people stand out and they make success. Obviously you need talent and creativity. But if you have talent and creativity and you have human qualities, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੰਨੀ ਕਿ એનર્ਜੀਜ਼ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨਾਲ ਹੋਰ ਜੋੜ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹੋ ਨਾ, ਕੱਲੀ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟਿਵਿਟੀ ਸਿਰ ਤੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਤੁਰੇ ਰਹੋਗੇ. ਸੋ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ એનર્ਜੀਜ਼ ਵੀ ਜੁੜਨੀਆਂ ਚਾਹੀਦੀਆਂ for it to have a larger impact, right? So people who again have these good qualities, I think they grow so much more. People who work hard, who have a regulated kind of a lifestyle, who are gracious, who are good with friends. who are not fair weather friends, people who think that this friendship is more important than all the petty, things of life. I think they do much better. I've seen that in Bollywood. I've seen it with people of, topmost people. And so मेरी 3 अलग किताबां बन रही हैं movies. I hope they give me a role.
What do you aspire to play, sir?
पता नहीं.
The lead?
Huh?
The lead?
No. I don't want to die.
I think you can definitely play a lead role.
Yeah. Don't give me hope, false hopes. कल मैं जाके अपनी वो नाली डाइड हुए करा ले आवा. Don't give me false hopes.
You look brilliant in this white/grey.
No, that's not a lead role. But what I was telling you was that I'm dealing with 3 different people. 3 different sets of people in my movies, and I can see the difference.
Oh.
You can see that. Well, it's unfair for me to comment on some, but I can see the difference between people, that how they deal, how they are gracious, how different they are, how they are, why they are, and yes, you can make out. And obviously, I've written biographies of so many people. Six Unlimited are short biographies of many successful people. Then obviously Captain Amarinder's biography is there. Why he stands out, why he has friends like who always stand by him. I mean, there are human qualities, right? So I think the crunch is human qualities, creativity, and if you have human qualities, I mean, it does not mean that it does not mean that I'm giving myself a certificate of having all those human qualities. No, it's not that, because I might have many flaws which you ask people around, they'll say, oh, right, he's like that. But that's fine. But largely, as a base level, you should be a good person.
I think we're always evolving. We're always learning. We are
evolving. We are evolving in mind. We are evolving in creativity. But basic qualities, वही रहंदी हैं.
The core values.
The core values नहीं change होंदियां. शुरू तो ही ऐदां दी है. सिर्फ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਤੌਰ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਬਦਲ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ, ਰਾਈਟ? ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਵਧੀਆ ਡਿਨਰ ਕਰਤਾ ਜਾਂ ਵਧੀਆ ਲੰਚ ਕਰਤਾ, ਸਿਰਫ ਟਾਈਮਿੰਗ ਜਾਂ ਤੌਰ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਬਦਲ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ, ਬਟ ਕੋਰ ਵੈਲਿਊਜ਼ ਸੇਮ ਰਹਿੰਦੀਆਂ.
Is there any book in pipeline?
Nothing yet. I'm thinking ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਕੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ. I still have some time, with my current post-op. So then I'll think about it later, I think, or I'll start plotting something. But I'm looking forward to this. It's a short novel, and I think it's a beautiful love story of these young couple and how they go through this whole turbulence of Punjab and the world. And I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's already been optioned for a web series.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it.
It's very exciting, sir, and I think I told you Maharaja and Denims. I found it in a bookshop in Kathmandu.
Wow.
That's where I read it, and it's brilliant. I mean, I've never read such a story with such a how there was a parallel between the old times and the guy. I think it is brilliant, and the fact that I found it in Kathmandu, that was also I know this person.
Yeah, thank you. Always nice to hear these things. But I'm hoping that Opium Toffee also is something similar. It's a fictional story, but I feel it ਕਿਸੇ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਸੀ. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਟਾਈਮ ਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਿਕਲੇ ਆ, ਇਹ ਕਹਾਣੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਬੀਤ ਸਕਦੀ ਸੀ.
Absolutely. Can there sometimes fact is stranger than fiction? Fiction is definitely possible.
Yes, absolutely. After all, it's an imagination of the mind, and so the mind picks up data from around. So, yeah.
Has it ever happened has there been a time when you are not writing a book? Because right now you said
from 2005 onwards,
how does it feel?
मैं सोचना नहीं है. You always ask me these questions. But मैं सोचना नहीं है इदां दी चीज़ां. मैं जिद्दां ना कहंदे किरत करी चलो.
Yeah.
I just do my job.
Taking life as it comes.
Yes, I have a routine. I carry my laptop everywhere. ਮੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਛੀ ਕੋਈ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਤੇ ਹੌਲੀਡੇ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਜਾਈਏ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਕੋਨਾ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਵੇ, ਮੈਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਵੀ 10 ਲਾਈਨਾਂ ਲਿਖ ਲੈਂਦਾ। ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕੁਝ ਨਵਾਂ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਏ, ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਮੇਰੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਜੋ ਮੈਂ ਲਿਖ ਰਿਹਾ ਉਹ ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਨਵੀਂ ਫਰੈਸ਼ਨੈਸ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। So like people say ਯਾਰ ਤੂੰ ਆਪਣਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਕੰਮ ਲੈ, ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਯਾਰ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੰਮ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਫਰੈਸ਼ਨੈਸ ਆ ਜਾਵੇ। You know, so I go like that.
Right, so wishing you all the luck for the Opium Toffee, and I look forward to reading it.
Thank you so much, Manik.
So we'll also attach the link to your book for anyone who wants to buy it for pre-order. So
very nice.
Then that would be our honor, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.